So today first we will do magnetic field due to circular coil. Magnetic field due to circular coil. Today we will start with the magnetic field discussion due to circular coil, but first we will discuss it at a point on the axis of the coil, right? We will discuss the magnetic field at a point on the axis of the circular coil. So that means it will be a three-dimensional geometry. If I consider a circular coil like this, if we consider a circular loop of wire carrying current, being it is a three-dimensional arrangement, so taking this line as the axis of the circular coil, right? This is taken to be the axis of the circular coil. This is the radius, let it be capital R, O be the center, let P be the point at a distance x from the center of the circular coil. Let current flowing in this circular coil, let it be I, if I be the current flowing in the circular loop whose radius is taken to be R. Okay, radius of the circular loop is R and x be the distance of the point from the center of the circular loop. Now we need to know the magnetic field at this point. Got this one? So this will be, being it is a three-dimensional geometry, we need to understand the status of the geometry. For example, if this is be the plane of the circle, if this is be the plane of the circle, right? So if this is the plane of the circle, then for me current can be either going this way or it can be this way, right? Okay, so if I hold the pen, just the chalk holder, just like it is acting as an axis of this circular loop, through the center the line perpendicular to the plane, if this is be the plane of the circular loop, right? If this is be the plane of the circular loop, then this line will be the axis line. So this is a point where we are trying to know the magnetic field. What we are doing it, the geometry, you need to focus here. This is the plane of the circle, right? Taking this point as center, and this position of the chalk holder indicates that this is the line which is the axis of the circle. So the required point is somewhere here. We need to know the magnetic field at this point. Okay, so this is the x, this radius is capital R. Now if I consider one current element on this, if I consider one current element, a small part of the conductor itself is a circular loop of length, total length is how much? 2 pi r, r being the radius. So this will be the line joining the current element to the required point as the radius vector small r. We can take the mod of this, or we can write down simply r. So this is that distance r what is used in Biot-Savart's law. So according to Biot-Savart's law, Biot-Savart's law, we know that magnetic field expression dB due to a small part of the current carrying wire, that is mu naught by 4 pi, right? IDL sine theta, this is the basic formula, IDL sine theta by r square, where theta, we know that where theta is what? Where theta is equal to angle between current element ideal vector and radius vector, right? And this capital and small r square, small r is representing the distance of the point from the current element. which is this one. This is the current element. Being it is a three-dimensional geometry, you need to follow it here again. If I consider one element at the top of this circular loop, right? So circular loop, if current is going this way, current is going this way, right? Then this will be the direction of the current. This is the direction of the vectorial direction of the current element, because this is a small dl length taken at the topmost point of this circular cross section. Is that clear? And as I said, there is a point, this is the point on the axis. So this will be the line joining from current element to record point. This slant position of this chalk holder, that indicates the r vector, right? So you can see that theta, which is the angle between the current element and radius vector, so position of these two chalk holder definitely indicates you or suggests you about the angle. It is definitely 90 degree. You can see these two lines are perpendicular, because this is again, this is the plane of the circle. Current element will lie on the plane of the circle, and this slant line is perpendicular to this. So that means based on geometry, theta must be 90 degree for given arrangement. For given arrangement, theta is 90 degrees. So that means sine 90 will be 1. That means the value of dB expression will become mu naught by 4 pi, right? This is IDL by r square, because sine 90 will be 1. So for theta, because theta is appearing here, the angle, because it is a three-dimensional, it is very difficult to represent the theta here according to the diagram is concerned, right? So what we will do, then what we have to do, we need to understand about the geometry practically. As I said, this is the current element, this is the radius vector, so angle between these two lines, you can clearly see it is the 90 degree, right? Between these two lines, angle is 90 degree. So that's why sine theta will be 0. Geometrically, I can consider this is the alpha. Angle made by the radius vector with the axis is alpha. So just I can take another current element diametrically opposite, which is also of length dl, and these two will have the same distance r, and this angle geometrically alpha. So we can see a symmetrical arrangement for one set of diametrically opposite current element. The point P line joining the current element to point P, both lines being the slant lines, identical line, makes equal angle alpha with the axis, right? Is that clear? So till now the geometry part is clear. You can understand what I am saying. Okay, fine. So now see, now again I have to make the I'll give you the geometrical presentation about the direction. This is the current element. As I said that the direction of the magnetic field, this right hand finger thumb is according to the direction of current in the current element. This is the plane of radius vector, and the face of this hand, the opening side of this hand is representing the magnetic field. So here, if this is the current element, and if the current is this way, I will take magnetic field, this is the radius vector, magnetic field lines will be perpendicular to this plane, that means magnetic field will be this way. Or if I take the current in this direction, then magnetic field will be this way. That means for one order dB, this is the radius vector, dB due to this can be this direction, and again for this dB will be again perpendicular to this. Either this can be the possibility, or otherwise this dB can be this way and this dB can be this way. So to make a convenient understanding, I am drawing it outward like this. Okay, clear? So now this is being 90 degree, this is also 90 degree. Geometry wise, if this is alpha, this is 90, so this is 90 minus alpha, 90 degree minus alpha. Same will happen here also, it's 90 degree minus alpha. So I can see for one pair of diametrically opposite element, according to the convention of Biot-Savart's law, the value of dB at a point P on axis, which is at a distance x, is appearing at an angle of divergence of 180 minus 2 alpha, 90 minus alpha plus 90 minus alpha. So at an angle of 180 minus 2 alpha. You can see this line, this line, this line, this line, this total one planar geometry, means this is constituting one plane. This one, this diametric line, if I say this is y-axis, then this line can be referred as x-axis. That means diameter and the slant lines and dB, this is totally appearing on the plane of this board, for example, and plane of the ring is like this. Plane of the ring is perpendicular to the board, right? And diameter, slant line joinings, current element to required points with the dB directions, all those lines are appearing on the plane of this board, right? So if for one pair of diametrically opposite current elements, if magnetic field at an axis point, instead of appearing along one line, rather they are appearing at an angle of divergence, right? If they are appearing at an angle of divergence, that means for all set of diametrically opposite current elements, similar kind of things will take place. Okay, for each and every pair of diametrically opposite current elements on one plane, there will be 2 dB at this angle of divergence. So now question arises, if I take all those diameters, so there will be infinite planes. That means there will be infinite planes, means infinite possibility of one pair of dB for one pair of diametrically opposite current element. If I can come to know this conclusion of the result of these 2 dB, those who are appearing on one plane, then a similar kind of argument to get the resultant magnetic field due to 2 such dBs, due to 2 current elements, those who are appearing diametrically opposite, we can reach to a conclusive argument about the net magnetic field due to all current elements appearing on this circular wire. Could you follow me? So now if I resolve this to dB based on angle, this is 90 minus alpha, so this is alpha again. So this one will be dB cos alpha, and in this direction it will be dB sin alpha. Similarly, dB also getting resolved here, it is will be dB cos alpha this way and dB sin alpha will be this way. So that means we can finally see that for one pair of diametrically opposite current element, the result of magnetic field, the resultant field value, magnetic field value at an axis point will be ultimately along the axis line, and that is the sum of dB sin alpha according to geometry, where alpha is the angle subtended by the slant line joining element to the required point with the line which is known as the axis of the circle, right? So therefore we can write down for one pair of diametrically opposite current elements, magnetic field at a point on its axis, at a point on the axis of the circular loop will be 2 dB sin alpha, right? For one pair of diametrically opposite current element, the magnetic field at the point P, which is on the axis, will be ultimately 2 dB sin alpha. Is there any doubt? Yeah, what I said that the direction of dB, just a minute. If I take this is the book, okay. This book is the plane of the circle. You can think about the state of a circle. There is a current element at the top, so line joining the current element to a point on the axis. There is a line, you can think about this is axis. An axis is like this, okay, from the plane it is outward. So this will be the this position of the mobile is indicating the plane on which this radius vector will lie. So magnetic field will be perpendicular to the radius vector. Got my point? Magnetic field is appearing perpendicular to the radius vector plane, and radius vector plane is current element to the point on the axis. Is that clear now? Do you understand about the direction of dB? So this is the way dB is appearing perpendicular to this plane. So same this way also it is happening this. So for one pair of this slant line joining, dBs are appearing this divergence at an angle of divergence. So after that, to know the resultant effect of two such dB values due to two current element, I have resolved it, and by virtue of the direction of the resolved components, I am getting that dB cos alpha are appearing perpendicular to axis, so they will get cancelled out. Their result will be of no use, but their sign components will get add up. So that's why I am writing that for one pair of diametrically opposite current elements, magnetic field at a point on axis of the circular loop will be 2 dB sin alpha, right? So for each and every diametrically opposite pair, the same effect of 2 dB sin alpha will be observed. Got my point? So therefore net magnetic field at P due to the circular loop, due to the entire circular loop, that can be obtained by integrating this 2 dB sin alpha. Got my point? If I am writing 2 dB sin alpha as the resulting effect of one pair, so there will be n number of pairs. We do not know how many number of pairs can exactly be possible, so I can integrate it for all continuous function. So 2 being the constant, taking it out, so dB sin alpha. So when there are 50 pairs, for example, so we will integrate it not for the full circle, for half, because in one step we are getting 2 dB sin alpha. In one step of calculation we are taking the result of against 2 elements. So if there are 100 elements, then I'll have to integrate it for 50. Is that clear? Now instead of dB I can write down this, because dB is mu naught by 4 pi ideal sin 90 by r square. So r is this. Sin alpha will be the constant angle that will appear with all the elements construction. Got my point? So therefore I can write down net magnetic field will be 2 into integration of dB. So dB can be written mu naught ideal by 4 pi r square, that into sin alpha. I can replace sin alpha in terms of small r. Sin alpha will be capital R by small r, perpendicular to hypotenuse. So it is capital R by small r. Small r being also a constant term, I can take 2 mu naught I by 4 pi r cube. These are all constants. I can take them out of the integration. So ultimately integration will take place for dl. As I said that if there are 100 elements, so we are integrating it for 50 steps. because in each step we are integrating 2 dv sin alpha. So that means in half of the step, so integration of dl will not be 0 to 2 pi r, rather we will write 0 to pi r. Why? Because we are taking, in each step we are taking result of against 2 elements. If we simply integrate for only dv sin alpha, then obviously it will be 0 to 2 pi r, because 2 is already multiple over here. So we are getting the correct answer. Is that okay? So integration of dl will be L, so limit we can use at pi r. So that means final answer is 2 mu naught I into pi r divided by 4 pi small r cube. 4 pi small r cube. So if you cancel this pi, if you cancel this term 2, so it is ultimate result at p, we are getting it as mu naught I into capital R. Okay, mu naught I into capital R divided by 2 small r cube. Is that fine? Any doubt? You can check the calculation. As I said, that dB, that depends mu naught by 4 pi I dl sin theta by r square, where r represents the magnitude of the distance of the point from current element, which is a constant value, slant distance small r. So that too is constant. Okay, I, mu naught, 4 pi, these are all constants. So in expression we are getting sin alpha. So for sin alpha I can write down capital R by small r, perpendicular to hypotenuse, right? So that's why instead of sin alpha I am writing it capital R by small r. Okay, so finally we are getting that, yes, if you now if you want to say that is it independent of distance x, so I can say no, it is not independent. Small r can be written in term of x, so then it will be mu naught I into capital R divided by 2 into, this is capital R square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. You can write down in this form also. You can write down in this form also, mu naught I into capital R divided by 2 into capital R square plus x square to the power 3 by 2, where now you are using the answer, you are expressing the answer in terms of the distance of the point on the axis which was taken as x from the center of the circle. Got my point? So for one order of direction of current, it will be this much away from the center, or in opposite order it will again at the same point will be same, but this time it will be towards the center. That is only difference for current taken either clockwise or anti-clockwise in the circle, where we need to multiply the bottommost step. Oh, I have missed here one capital R, right. So there will be one more R, so capital R square will be there, right? Yeah, I missed out one term of capital R, taking it in the next step. Yes. Well, so it will be mu naught I into capital R square divided by 2 capital R square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. Is that fine? Is it okay?